Hey, I'm Aaron, and I am here standing outside Freddy's Pizzaria in Cicero. We have a great interview lined up for you today. You don't want to miss this. I hope you enjoy.
This is the It's Not So Late show with your host, Aaron Hanania, the voice of young America, interviewing celebrities, influencers, and exploring unique and interesting stories that you need to hear. And now, please welcome your host of the It's Not So Late show, Aaron Hanania!
I'm Aaron Hanania, and today I'm joined by Joe Quercia, owner of Freddy's Bakery in Cicero. Thank you so much for having me here. And I gotta ask you first, how did you open this up? When did you open it up? And what inspired you to open up a restaurant?
Well, this place was already existing on the east side of Austin. It started actually in 1955, and they had Italian ice, only 3 flavors: lemon, chocolate, and strawberry, and sliced cheese pizza in the square pan. That was it. In 1968, I immigrated from Naples, Italy, and I got a job at that location. And during that time, I was working there and go to school at Morton East High School. At the age 18, we moved here, and the place was up for sale. And we still had the same operation, just 3 flavors and cheese pizza. And with some savings that I had after 5 years being in this country and borrow money from relatives, I purchased the place. And that was at the starting. And I had a vision to bring more flavors, more food, make a we call it trattoria or rusticceria style in Italy, that you walk in, you get your stuff. It's not a fancy restaurant, it's not you put them on your tray, you go out there and eat it. And I created that. And after 10 years being in this country, that I went for a month in Italy, and I picked up a lot of ideas. I came back here and refigures the whole thing. I brought gelato because gelato was well known in Italy, but not as much in this country. And I'm a self-taught person. I never went to culinary school, or just keep trying and taste it, and things turned out pretty well.
I like the idea. So we're talking here about gelato. So can you tell the viewers what the difference between ice cream and gelato is? Because there is a difference. I think a lot of people may not realize that there is a difference between the two.
Well, there is gelato and there is gourmet gelato. What we make is gourmet gelato. And one time in Italy, gelato was making they used to make it just regular milk. Now they start adding cream because people want more of a rich flavor and an intense flavor, and that's what it is. And it's a low overrun. What it is that when it is a low overrun, it means that American ice cream, they do, out of 1 gallon of liquid, they make 2 gallons. Versus Italian gelato, it's very condensed. You don't pump it up with air. So the flavors is intense. It's creamier. It's about between 10 to 12% butterfat. Some people say, no, Italian gelato should be 7-8%. So depends where you go. It's the same thing in Italy. You go to a place which they make 7-8% butterfat, which is almost like a sherbet, versus making a gourmet gelato.
Now, do you have a favorite flavor of gelato that you like to eat?
I change every month. Like we just made the chocolate rocher is one of my favorite, and limoncello is one of my favorite too. And lemon ice, lemon, and that's my favorite.
Now, you work here in the food industry. Now, does it ever get hard to not eat the product that you're making? Do you ever get there where it's like, oh, I'm making this pizza. This looks great this morning. I want some pizza. Because we're here really early. This is like 9 in the morning. And you said you were here till, I think you said like 6 in the morning you start?
Yes.
So do you ever just start eating early?
No, not at that time. When we come here, we do preparation, turn the oven on, and start making the dough and let it rise, and start making the bread. So it's a little intense. Usually maybe around 10, 11 o'clock. I taste a piece of pizza or taste an arancini, whatever I have the urge to taste that day. But yeah, we do taste the food during the day in order to maintain the quality. So.
So can you tell our viewers a little bit about this specific types of food you have? You know, maybe like what your favorite menu item is, or what maybe some of the popular menu items are, in case some of the people who have not been to maybe a smaller like Italian type cuisine place can enjoy.
Well, the favorite the best selling right now here is almost everything. We have like 3 generations that grew up here. So some people, they lived here, so when they go and move out of this town, they come back and they remind to get a sliced cheese pizza, the square pan, the Sicilian style. Some people like chicken limone or chicken marsala or pasta, you know, that we add on as years went by in order to maintain the, you know, the request of the customers, because from 30 years ago it has changed what the people are demanding. They want more prepared food, and that's what we hear and that's what we serve.
Right. So what is the difference? So you're saying that there's this change over 30 years. Can you talk a little bit about what that change was, what you mean by prepared foods?
Well, change was like years ago we used to sell dry pasta, maybe 25, 30 cases a week.
Wow.
So each case is 24 pounds.
Wow.
And olive oil and like, you know, in gallons and everything. And there was the immigrants from Italy that they lived. Immigrants from Italy right now is kind of very, very slow down. And we aimed at all kind of nationality. And most of them, they all work right now. There is not like the mother stayed at home or the lady stayed at home and the husband went to work. Now, both people are working and they're looking for prepared food. So they stop here and pick up an order of pasta or chicken or pizza or sandwiches, go home and eat. They don't, you know, a lot of people cannot afford to get fine dine every day, you know, maybe once a week. And it's been helping. As I said before, when I seen the decline of selling the pasta on the shelf, like dry pasta,
Right.
I knew something was changing. So we said, well, we have to switch. We have to make prepared food. That's what the people want. You know, slice of lasagna, you come in and you get an order for, you know, $9.99 or $10.99, an order pasta. You get your salad, some bread, a little gelato, maybe $25, $30. You have 2 people eating on a $15 per person. So
Right.
it's, you know, it's good and reasonable. You know, like I said, you know, you go to a white tablecloth restaurant, easy, it's $50 or more.
Exactly.
You know, so they get that fine dine at home.
I like that, you know, and that's what we're moving towards. Now, I want to talk about the challenges. You know, you said you moved here from Italy, you know, and then you worked your way up, you know, and now you own this restaurant. What are some of the challenges you face? You know, like we just we're getting out of the pandemic. Did that bring any challenges as well to a smaller, you know, privately owned place like this?
Well, at the present time, I mean, you know, you talk about the pandemic that we went through last year, you know. The pandemic, the challenge that we had was we were closed for 2 months for safety, for our help and ourselves, and then we decided to open up because things got loosened up a little bit, and we were serving out of the window. We were bringing the food outside. That was very challenging, but now it seems like it's back to normality, and hopefully that this thing goes away. But you know, it was challenging, but we tried to. Thank God we were paying our bills. We were doing very well, and we kept our staff all working, and no one went unemployment. And even though myself at the end of the week, there was no check for me, but that's all right. I could survive.
Right. You know, and what was that like when, you know, after we got through this pandemic, it was a couple months of not seeing customers. What was it like when you were able to see that first customer again? You know, probably with the mask on. Was that a really sigh of relief for you, you know, and the people who work here?
Oh yeah, it was a sign of relief. But I kept always busy at home. I made videos and I posted on Facebook. I was doing cooking lessons, and people used to respond. But the first day we opened up, I was excited. I was excited because, when you do this every day since 1968, and you slowed up, and I was going crazy at home.
I feel that. So where do you post, you said you post these videos of like cooking. Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe where the viewers and listeners at home can find that, and then what you like to cook?
They could go on Facebook, but I don't think there are too many now because I think Facebook canceled them. This was last year. I don't know why they canceled. They blocked us for a while.
Really?
Yeah, but that's Facebook. And as you are, we had to go through another little problem a few years back with Freddy's Fazbear, and we had a problem with that.
Oh man.
But now it's almost back to normal. People appreciate, and people are calling. And
speaking of calling,
and they want to know, are you guys back? Like a lady yesterday, she was coming from Naperville, and she want to make sure that our dining is open and the outdoor is open, and we had all the food that we used to carry, which is we do. We still have everything. The challenging right now is the product. The product, sometimes you can't get the product, and if you get it, it's very expensive. Tripled. Wow. Some of the product is tripled. But
is there anyone specific that you're finding is difficult to obtain right about now?
You could obtain it. It just I don't know what it is, but they just like to jump with the prices. Just give an example. Vegetable oil for frying calamari and arancini. We used to pay maybe $22 for a 5-gallon drum. We used to pay $22 for a 5-gallon drum. Right now it's $43.
Oh, so it's doubled.
Yeah.
Wow.
So other items like mozzarella went up, chickens is going up.
Really?
So it's a little bit of the labor and a little bit of some people it might take advantage. They try to make what they lost.
Exactly. So I want to talk about, since my show is geared towards a lot of younger people, who maybe have like a dream, and I know a lot of them want to open up a restaurant. That's why we're here. I was asked to go, visit like bakeries and restaurants. So where do you recommend people start if they want to open up maybe their own, whether it's a restaurant or it's a bakery, maybe it's an ice cream parlor? Where should they start? What do you think they should do first?
Well, they could start like in a place like this, or start anywhere, or even like this chain if they like there. But I always recommend a ma and pa's. It's different than a chain restaurant. If they want to go to culinary school, first of all, you have to have a passion. Not everybody makes it through this, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of hours, a lot of patience, a lot of dedication, and there were times when I started. I was at the end of the week. I used to have red slips, final notice,
Oh my gosh.
So it's challenging, but at that time it was different. Today with the media and with all this technology, you could get on Facebook, get online, and before was word of mouth,
Exactly.
and was not like it is today. Today you go on Facebook, you posted something, and you get all these hits and get all these calls. Versus years ago, you were, forced to do other things, which is me and my wife. At that time, actually, we were going out, and when I started to have Freddy's, I used to make these little menus and pamphlets.
Really?
And on Sundays, our day off, we used to drive through Oak Park, River Forest. Cicero and Berwyn, they knew already, and we used to put them in the mailbox.
Really?
There was a thing. So
That's very cool. And speaking of media, we are in your indoor dining hall, and I can't help but see the different news, stories that you have on the wall. So you can talk about some of the media attention you've gotten, or maybe some well-known people who've come here to eat, because this is really cool. I see here, I think this one is from a local paper. So
yes,
can you talk about that?
Paper. Yeah, he's a nice gentleman, David Hammond. He's from Oak Park, and he did a few stories on me quite a bit. And also, he passed away, a great food critic, Pat Bruno. At that time, he was, quite a few years back, he was the top food critic, which is you never meet him. You don't even know what he looked like. He used to come in and 2 or 3 times and taste foods. Then we had, that was our first big hit with Pat Bruno. The second big hit was on Check Please.
Okay. Wow.
So Check Please really put a shot on in the arm, and other too, like Good Life, and there were Chicago's magazines, Channel 7, Channel 9. We had a lot of channels, and like I said, the media helped a lot, and also the online, people, they talk about, and they come in and do videos, and they post it on Facebook.
Right. And that helps, that helps bring business, to here. So do you have like an online presence where people can follow you? People who are listening to the show, are you guys on any like Instagram or Facebook, the handles?
No, just our Facebook, that's it, and then I still believe in word of mouth. And we have so many, like I said, 3 generations we are serving. Some of these young men, I remember when they were 6, 7 years old, now they have their own kids. So They bring them here, and we have a menu that's been printed since 1960.
Oh my gosh.
We still post it. If we'll show you, can take a shot at. So we have this great follower, which is it is still the best. I consider it still the best because it is nice, and when the people used to live around this neighborhood, and one time was Eastern European, Western European, Italian, Greeks. I mean, they were all nationality. Then there was a little change. We have Hispanics, a wonderful community. They support us tremendously. And we're very fortunate, like I said, and people coming from everywhere. They're coming from River Forest, Naperville, because the people, they will live here. This was the starting point of Cicero. The people bought their bungalows, they start working, and everybody wants better themselves and move out, and so.
Speaking of which, real quick, here we're for those of you who can't see, we are in proximity of the neighborhood. I believe this is a house next door. So was this a house at one point, near the bakery, that has been converted into a bakery?
Well, this is a bakery and plus a pizza place and gelateria. Okay. Yes, I lived in the back, actually. There was an apartment in the back. It's when we bought the Freddy's, there was an apartment in the back, and I lived in the back for quite a few years. And then we moved out, and we extended because we needed more room, a storage, a production. We did about 2 or 3 addition to the place.
Really? And I know you just have this beautiful outdoor patio that you recently added. So has that helped now? Because obviously during COVID, a lot of people like eating outside. They don't like eating inside. So was that helpful and beneficial for you?
It helped tremendously. Thanks to the town of Cicero, to the president of Cicero, and all the people who work there. They really helped us a lot to build this place. They give us the okay to build it. And we did a good job at it. So during the winter, the pandemic, we had heaters outside, and at least it helped us pay for the bills and keep our staff. My worry there was keeping my staff, because most of my staff has been with us for 20, 25, 30 years. So that was my goal, to keep my staff and make them earn money, even though, if it wasn't, there was a little bit left for me, was fine, because, it's them that I was worrying about.
I like that. So before we end here, do you have any new menu items that you can give our viewers a little sneak peek of that are going to be added to the menu anytime soon?
We always come up with something once in a while. Mostly we do some pasta, or we do sometimes we do we recently came up. It's like a Sunday gravy, homemade pasta with braised beef. It's delicious. And that's was the latest thing that we came up with.
Thank you, Joe, so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And you guys can come here, 16th Street and 61st in Cicero, Illinois, to Freddy's.